the Center City part of Philadelphia around City Hall. Senator Bernie Sanders was the keynote speaker, sponsored by the AFL-CIO, probably the nation's largest union organization in the world. And Sanders culminated with a very emotional, fiery speech. Let's go now to the introduction of Senator Bernie Sanders in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You're watching Tyrone Bowman live.
Welcome, Senator Bernie Sanders! Thank you, Philadelphia! Let me thank all of you for coming out this afternoon. Let me thank Danny Bowder and the Philadelphia AFL-CIO. And let me thank all those who have spoken and will be speaking in a few moments. Brothers and sisters, what we are celebrating today in May Day is, in a sense, a sacred holiday. And all over our country, workers are coming out demanding justice, and all over the world, in dozens of countries, workers are standing up to oligarchy and demanding a world in which all people have a decent standard of living. Today, we remember the struggles and the sacrifices of workers for hundreds of years who have stood up to powerful special interests to create a better world. And today we thank our brothers and sisters in the trade union movement for continuing that struggle. May Day, as you know, was established way back in 1886. And workers then stood up to their very powerful bosses and said, you know what, we don't want to be slaves. We don't want to work 60, 70 hours a week. We want an 8-hour day. And throughout our history, workers stood up and they said, you know what, children should not be working in factories or in the fields. They should be in good schools. And throughout the years, workers said, we don't want our brothers and sisters dying in factories. We want safe working conditions. And workers in the trade union said that when people work more than 40 hours a week, as so many millions in our country do, they deserve and must have time and a half. And as a result of the struggles of the trade union movement, we have come a long way, not quite far enough, to end discrimination so that all people have an opportunity for a decent job, no matter what the color of their skin, where they were born, or their sexual orientation. And when we think about history, I want you all to remember the fact that we have a social security system today which guarantees benefits to our older people and disabled did not happen by accident. The trade union movement made it happen. And the fact that senior citizens today through Medicare can get the health care they need did not happen by accident. Trade union workers made it happen. And today, the fact that millions of lower income people and elderly people in nursing homes get supported by Medicaid did not happen by accident. The trade union movement made it happen. So my point is that because of the trade union movement, this country has come a long way over the last 150 years. But let me tell you something that you're not going to see in corporate media and something that you're not going to hear much about on the halls of Congress. And that is that while we have accomplished much, we still have an enormously important road forward if we're going to create an economy that works for all of us, not just a few. So let us be clear and lay it out on the table. In the year 2025 in America, we are now living in an oligarchic form of society. Never before in our history have so few had so much wealth while so many Americans are struggling. Never before have so few had so much political power, while millions of Americans no longer vote. Millions of others have given up on democracy because they look at government and they say, government is owned by billionaires. You are not representing us. You know, a few years ago, when I talked about oligarchy, people were saying, oh, what is Bernie talking about? Well, Donald Trump has made it very clear what we are talking about when we talk about oligarchy. Oligarchy is a president who, when he gets inaugurated, he doesn't hide it. Right behind him are the three wealthiest people in America: Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg. And right behind them are 13 other billionaires who he has appointed to head major government agencies. I think all of us remember that when Abraham Lincoln was in Gettysburg, right here in Pennsylvania, and he looked out at a battlefield where a few days before 20,000 Union soldiers had died or been wounded. And he looked out and he said, our vision for the future of America is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Well, what everyone knows is that today we have a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class, and we will not allow that to continue. And let me be very clear. These oligarchs, these billionaires are not nice people. They are incredibly greedy people. You might think that somebody who has 10 or 20 billion dollars might be content, might think that's enough. Not these guys. They want it all. And they are prepared to destroy Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, nutrition programs in order to get more tax breaks for themselves. So today, brothers and sisters, we tell these greedy oligarchs, this country belongs to all of us, not the billionaire class. And let me tell you what else that is going on in our country today. Today, in the richest country in the history of the world, 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck. Many of you are living paycheck to paycheck. Millions of people should not and will not live paycheck to paycheck in the richest country in the history of the world. Today in America, one man, Elon Musk, owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. Today in America, working class people live 7 years shorter lives than the rich. Today in America, the top 1% now owns more wealth than the bottom 93%. And CEOs make 350 times more than the average worker. And here is something that we don't talk about enough, and it tells us why the American people are furious. Today, the average worker in America, despite a huge explosion in technology and worker productivity, that average worker is earning less money per week in inflation accounted for dollars than he or she did 52 years ago. So it's not hard to understand what's happened. Over the last 50 years, the very richest people in this country have become much richer, while 800,000 people today sleep out on the street and the average worker struggles. So let me tell you something. I have gone all over this country, as some of you may know. And what I am proud to tell you is the American people by the millions are saying no to oligarchy, no to Trump's authoritarianism, no to Trump's kleptocracy, and no to tax breaks for billionaires. And I'm here in Pennsylvania to tell any member of the Pennsylvania delegation that if they vote for tax breaks for billionaires and cut Medicaid, nutrition, and education, we are going to throw them out of their jobs. But brothers and sisters, our job right now, in my view, is twofold. First, we have got to fight Trump every single day. But secondly, we need to have a vision as to where our country goes in the future. And here is the bottom line, and I say that to my Democratic colleagues in the Congress. Stop defending the status quo economically. economy in which the rich get richer and working people struggle should not be defended. So there are a number of things that we have got to keep our eyes on and understand. Please, you are living in the richest country in the history of the world. It is not a radical idea. It is not utopian to say that every man, woman, and child can and should have a decent standard of living. And at the top of the list of what we have got to do is to end a corrupt campaign finance system, a system that allows billionaires in both political parties to control the political process and our economy. Brothers and sisters, democracy is about one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections. And if we're going to deal with the massive income and wealth inequality that currently exists, we're going to not give the rich tax breaks. We're going to demand that the billionaires and their corporations start paying their fair share of taxes. And if we're going to build the movement that we need to take power in this country, we need to grow the trade union movement in this country. Right now, there are millions of workers who want to join unions. They're unable to do so because of the illegal behavior of corporations. And that's why we're going to pass the PRO Act. And if workers, a majority of workers sign a union card, they're going to belong to a union. Brothers and sisters, we need to raise the minimum wage in this country to a living wage. No worker working 40 hours a week should live in poverty. And brothers and sisters, if we're going to compete in the global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. And that is making not only our public colleges and universities tuition free. It means paying our teachers a wage that they deserve. There is no reason why we should not be having the best public education in the world and the best child care system in the world. Now, our Republican colleagues, or some of them, want to cut Social Security. 22%, if you can believe this, of seniors in this country are trying to get by on $15,000 a year or less. Can't afford to heat their homes, pay for their prescription drugs. We're not going to cut Social Security. Brothers and sisters, together, we're going to expand Social Security benefits by lifting the cap on taxable income. And let me tell you something else. I am old enough to remember something called a defined benefit pension plan. You know what that is? I know it's a radical idea to the younger people. Once upon a time, when workers worked at a decent job, when they retired, they had a strong, defined pension plan. We've got to bring that back. People who work their whole lives should be able to retire with dignity. Brothers and sisters, we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all as a human right. 85 million are uninsured or underinsured, and we spend twice as much per capita on health care as the people of any other major country. The function of health care is not to make insurance companies and drug companies rich. It's to provide health care to all. Together, we're going to pass Medicare for all, single-payer program. Donald Trump may think that climate change is a hoax. You and I know that it is an existential threat. We can create millions of good-paying union jobs by transforming our energy system into energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And brothers and sisters, instead of spending $1 trillion a year on the military, instead of giving billions of dollars to Netanyahu and his horrific war against the people of Gaza, we can cut military spending and build 5 million units of low-income and affordable housing. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the struggle in front of us is easy. The oligarchs own the economy, they own the media, they own the political process. That's the reality. And I may not have a PhD in mathematics, but there is one thing I do understand, that if we do not allow Trump and his friends to divide us up by the color of our skin or where we were born or our sexual orientation, if we stand together around a progressive agenda, if we start electing candidates who work for us and not the billionaire class, if we think big and not small, brothers and sisters, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Let's go out, let's do it, let's transform the country. Thank you all very much.
You've been watching Senator Bernie Sanders in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the AFL-CIO May Day Rally. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Thank you for joining me. And always remember, never surrender, never quit.